You know, as someone that just collects Thomas stuff for fun, basically now, often wondered what things I should and shouldn't buy. Because it's not like I have a bunch of money that I can just spend whenever I want. No, unfortunately, that is not the case. Even though I wish it would be. But yeah, there is Thomas items that people say every big Thomas collector should have in their collection. Like I don't know, something that comes to mind maybe is a Tommy Big Welder set. That is a pretty sought after item and a classic among Thomas merchandise and toys. That's one that a lot of people like, and to be honest, I would like to have one myself. But yeah, maybe for a later time. Not really focusing on that for now. For example, if it isn't obvious by the type of unboxings I do in this video on my channel, I mainly focus on collecting Tomy Trackmaster toys, as is evident by the fact that almost every unboxing video on this channel involves Tomy or Trackmaster engines, and I've been grinding to get a lot of them. For example, I have finally, after many years, managed to get some Plero engines in my collection. Before, before, or I should say, about like 8 months ago or something, I didn't even have a Plero engine on my collection, and now I have a few. So yeah, that's pretty great too. That's pretty great. Or there's certain characters that every Thomas fan should have by now. But for some reason or another, they don't have them. Like my example, even after many years, I still haven't gotten a single version of Edward. Yes, I have no version of Edward in my collection. The only sort of thing I have related to Edward is a minis Edward, which I'm probably popping on the screen right now. But that's the only bit of Edward I have in my collection. For my series, I just use an old take and play talking James as Edward for many years. I'm hoping one day I can buy an Edward to for my series and to have the complete Steam team in my collection. So yeah, but anyway, the point I want to get at is every Thomas collector normally just buys iconic and memorabilia, iconic merchandise. You know what I mean, or just stuff that to expand the collection to make it look better. But um, almost all of them is almost every Thomas fan's desire to buy something is to buy something that is actually legitimate, actually made from a reputable company, not a knockoff. Which is why my weird but fascinating obsession for the Gusto Shushu knockoff Thomas is always one that pops into my brain as something that I don't need, but I really want it. I hope you understand what I mean. I don't know. It is a pretty interesting knockoff. I remember seeing it for the first time, just like probably many of you. I remember seeing it for the first time in Leokimvideo's Dark Side knockoff Thomas videos, and I must have been what, like 3, 4 years old when I first watched Leokimvideo and his videos. That was one of the first videos I watched of him, was the knockoff Thomas series. And the Gusto Shushu Thomas, or the Powerful Train Thomas, they're both pretty much the same knockoff, except one can spin, the other one can't. But they're pretty much the same, but they've always stood out to me, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the fluctuating eyes and mouth, maybe it's all the rainbow lights that emit, maybe it's the fact that it spins on the spot. I don't know. It's always been a Thomas that interests me. So much so that one day I want to just grab a secondhand Thomas and turn it into the Gusto Shushu Thomas, just because I can. I don't know. It's something that's always interested me, and I really want to own a knockoff Gusto Shushu Thomas in my collection. Obviously, Leokimvideo said it once. I'll probably pop it on the screen about never have the desire to own a knockoff toy because in the end it's just rubbish.
Don't ever get caught up with the desire to have these as proper toys.
But that's the thing. I don't want it as a toy. I just want it because I can have it. Obviously, finding a train or a toy that was sold like, what, 14, 15 years ago now, it's pretty difficult to find. For me at least, I've searched on the webs for a while, and I can't find a single area where or a single shop thingy that sells the Gusto Shushu. Probably for obvious reasons because it's an unlicensed toy, but I still want to own one, even if it's in dire condition, even if it's just broken. I just want to have one because I can. Hopefully, in the distant future, when I hopefully have money as well, because there's no point if it's on sale and I cannot buy it because I have no money. But hopefully, in the near future, I can find one and just buy it and have it and unbox it for you guys because that'll probably happen if I get it. If I get it, I'll probably do an unboxing video on it. But yeah, just a weird curiosity of mine or a weird fascination of mine that I don't know if you guys can relate. I don't know if you guys have a weird fascination for knockoffs like I do. Mainly because of how much I loved Leokimvideo's Dark Side videos back in the day. But yeah, just a weird or random video that I just wanted to make talking about my my search, my look for the Gusto Shushu Thomas and why I kind of like it and why I want to own one just because I can. So yeah, that was a short video and I think that I'll just leave it at that.